Okay, so just standing with your feet flat on the floor, hip width apart, shoulders nice and relaxed, and focus into your breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Focusing down into your feet and just making sure you've got your weight nice and evenly spread before we start. And imagining now you've got your golden thread pulling you up towards the ceiling and really lengthening you through your spine. And we're going to start off like we always do by relaxing those shoulders. So shrugging up toward your ears and relaxing down. Shrugging up and relaxing. And once more shrugging up and relaxing down. And then rolling your shoulders back. Just trying to ease out any stress or any tension. And then changing direction and rolling forwards. Relaxing down and rolling your head from side to side. Bringing each ear up towards each shoulder. And taking your head all the way around. And back the other way. And bringing your head up. Looking up towards the ceiling and down towards the floor. Looking up and down. And once more looking up and looking down. Bringing your head into the centre and looking from side to side. Bringing your head into the centre. Turning your head 45 degrees to the right, looking back down towards the floor and up towards the ceiling. And then bringing your head into the centre and doing the same in the opposite direction, looking down and looking up. And bringing your head back into the centre. Reaching your arms up towards the ceiling, have a good stretch and bringing them down. Again, reaching up and coming down. And last time, reaching up and coming down. We're going to go back the other way. Reaching up and coming forwards. Reaching up, coming forwards. And last time, reaching up and coming forwards. Okay, so you're standing up nice and tall, your shoulders are relaxed. The next thing we're going to do is find our neutral spine. So just placing your hands on your hips and rocking your pelvis backwards and forwards, making your movements smaller and smaller until you come to that point in the middle where you can't make your movement anymore. And relaxing your arms down. Good, so you're standing up nice and tall, your shoulders are relaxed, you've found your neutral spine. Now we're pulling in those core muscles. I want you to imagine you're squeezing into a tight pair of trousers and you're holding it there. Try and keep your core pulled in throughout the whole of the class, and when we're doing individual exercises, I'll be reminding you as we're going along. So you're standing up nice and tall, your shoulders are relaxed, you found your neutral spine, found your core. And finally, we're focusing into your breathing. As we're holding in those tummy muscles now, I want you to think about breathing into the top and the side of your chest. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Really filling your ribcage with air. So you're standing up nice and tall, your shoulders are relaxed, you've found your core and found your neutral spine. As you're breathing out, coming up onto your tiptoes and back down towards the floor. Coming up and then down. And once more coming up and coming down. Bringing your arms up as you come up and down as you come back down. Reach up and coming down. And last time, reaching up and coming down. Okay, we're going to start off like we always do, just with some roll downs, just to get your back nice and warmed up. So you're standing up nice and tall, shoulders relaxed, pulling in that core. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you're breathing out, you're slowly rolling down towards the floor, starting with your head and your neck, and rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae. Really feeling all of those muscles in your back, having a good stretch, and make sure your arms are hanging nice and loose, your shoulders are getting a good stretch as well. And when you do feel any tension in the backs of your knees, bend your knees, breathe in, and then breathing out. Again, as you roll vertebrae by vertebrae. And coming up into your nice tall standing position. Again, breathing out, rolling down. Letting those arms hang nice and loose. And rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae. And as you're rolling back up, you're stacking your vertebrae nicely back on top of one another. And coming up into your nice tall standing position. Once more, rolling down. Just enjoy this movement, making sure you're feeling all of those little muscles in your back having a good stretch. And if you do feel stiff when you're getting out of bed in the morning, this is a lovely one to do just to get your back warmed up for the rest of the day. Okay, we're going to add in a push-up now. So again, you're rolling down, take a nice deep breath in. And as you're breathing out, slowly rolling down towards the floor. This time when you feel that tension in your backs of your knees, bend your knees and walk forward onto all fours or into a push-up position. Remembering you're breathing in as you push down and out as you push up, and either walking back into a crouch position or straightening those legs and walking up through. Tuck your chin in towards your chest and gently roll yourself up into standing. I want you to remember it's the rolling up that's more important than the rolling down, because you're realigning your spine, so take your time as you roll back up. Again, breathing out, rolling down. And walking forwards. Breathing in as you push down and out as you push up, and then walking back and rolling up through. And for the last time, rolling down. And walking forwards. Breathing out as you push away. And rolling back up. Remember to stack those vertebrae nicely back on top of one another. And coming up into your nice tall standing position. Shoulders down, core pulled in. Okay, we're going to try a new move for some people today called the standing spine twist. So what I want you to do to start with is I want you to take your left foot and put it onto your right thigh. So you're just thinking about trying to balance. If you're having trouble balancing on one foot, you can always hold on to a piece of furniture. But I want you to really focus into your balance. Think about your foot that's on the floor and imagine that you're pushing your foot away from the floor. So rather than you feel you're pushing your foot into the floor, I want you to almost feel that the floor is pushing up into your foot. So that will just help you with your balance. And if you can hold your leg there and you want to try to challenge yourself even further, you can bring your arms up above your head. So you're coming into your tree position. Anyone that's done yoga, this is called your tree. And the way we turn it into a standing spine twist for Pilates is we bring our hands down into a prayer position. Have your thumbs in towards your breastbone and hold it there. For some people that will be enough of a challenge. For other people who want to push themselves a bit harder, we're going to add in the spine twist. So as you're breathing out, you move away towards your bent knee and you breathe in as you come back into the centre. Breathing out as you move away and breathing in, coming back. We'll just do a few of these today so you get the feel of what it's like. But if you can't do the spine twist now, don't worry, I'll do the seated spine twist in a minute. So coming back into the centre, lower your arms down and lower your leg down. Okay, we're going to change over. So again, check your core because that will help you with your balance. Check that neutral. And then we're bringing your right leg up and again, placing your right foot onto your left thigh. Again, if you need to hold on to a piece of furniture to help you with your balance, that's absolutely fine. But if you can, I want you to try and just balance on one leg so you're really centering your body and focusing into that core. Bring your arms up above your head into your tree position if you can. Really focus into that balance, focus into your core, and bring your hands down into your prayer position with your thumbs in towards your breastbone. Again, as you're breathing out, if you want to add to the challenge, you can add in the movement, moving towards your bent knee. Breathe out as you move away, and breathe in as you come back. Keep those shoulders down. My shoulders were a bit tense then. Think about keeping those shoulders down. Breathing out, moving away, breathing in, coming back. And once more, out, moving away, and in, coming back. Then just placing your feet back down on the floor, and give your legs a little shake, and just get any tension away from those hips or those ankles. Okay, I want you to take a nice deep breath in now. And as you're breathing out, you're rolling down towards the floor, and we're coming into our seated position. So just coming down into a seated position with your knees bent and your feet together. Hopefully you can see that my soles of my feet are together. Now it doesn't matter how far away your feet are from you or how close they are to you, as long as you can sit up in your neutral spine. So the way you find neutral in sitting is making sure that you've got your weight evenly spread on both bottom cheeks and that you can sit up in that nice tall sitting position. Huge apologies there. One of the children's left their iPad on. One of their friends is trying to FaceTime them. Okay, hopefully that you found that nice sitting position now. So you've got your soles of your feet together and you're sitting up nice and tall, shoulders relaxed, core pulled in. Okay, we're going to start off with a nice stretch for those arms. So again, bring those arms up above your head into your prayer position. And if you can, reverse the grip. Bringing your hands behind you, fingers interlinked, palms in towards your spine, and pull back on those shoulders. Again, try not to lean forward. Try and keep that nice tall sitting position and just stretch those shoulder blades. And bring your arms in front of you, fingers interlinked, palms out towards the ceiling, and reach up. Now, staying in this position, reaching up, I want you to try and go over to the side. So you're stretching out those side muscles. And back into the centre. And doing the same the other way. And back into the centre, bringing your arms down. And finishing off those arms, just bringing one arm across your chest, giving it a pull, and changing over. I want you to take a nice deep breath in, and as you're breathing out, you're rolling down towards your feet with your head, and reaching for your feet with your hands and stretching out the back. And rolling yourself up. And we're going to come into our seated spine twist. Our standing spine twist is really good for challenging our balance, but to really work those little muscles in our upper backs, which I imagine for most of us are quite tense at the moment, having been hunched over dining tables and things like that. We're going to be doing our sitting spine twist as well, so we can really work those muscles in our upper back. So placing your hands into your prayer position and your thumbs in towards your breastbone, take a nice deep breath in. And as you're breathing out, you're moving away, keeping your head and your neck in line, and breathing in as you come back into the centre. Breathing out as you move away, and breathing in as you come back. So the movement is just coming from the hip. You shouldn't be moving your head and your neck, so if it helps, imagine that you've got your neck in a neck brace, and you're keeping your head and your neck in line, and the movement is coming from your hip. You should be feeling those muscles in the upper part of your back, having a stretch. And it's a very, very small movement, but it's really targeting those muscles in your upper back and around your shoulder blades. I want you to imagine each time we're coming back into the centre now that you're getting taller and taller. And keeping that core pulled in to help you stay sitting upright and hold that neutral spine. Think about your shoulders. And just enjoy that movement. And making the next one your last one, or make sure you've done an even amount on either side. Placing those arms down and then stretching one leg out in front of you. Placing your opposite foot on your thigh and sitting up nice and tall. So you should have your right leg stretched out and your left leg bent with your left foot on your right thigh. And I want you to keep your right leg as straight as you can. You're reaching down for your feet. And it doesn't matter how far you can go as long as you're keeping your leg nice and straight and we're stretching out those hamstrings. Bringing your left arm looking up towards the ceiling. And then as you're breathing out, reaching up and over. And looking down at your knee. Then we're changing over, stretching your left leg out, and again, placing your right foot onto your left thigh, keeping your left leg nice and straight, reach as far down your leg as you can, while keeping your knee straight. Don't worry if you can only get onto your calves or even just past your knee. Make sure we're stretching out those hamstrings. Then with your right arm, looking up towards the ceiling and reaching up and over. And coming back up into sitting. So just bending those knees and having your knees bent at 90 degrees with your feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. I want you to place your left hand onto your right knee, bring your right arm behind you and look over that shoulder, stretching out your back into the centre, and left arm behind you and looking over that left shoulder and coming back into the centre. Then stretching those legs out in front of you, this time bringing your feet together and sitting up really tall. You might find it's hard to sit up tall with your legs out in front of you, so really focus into that neutral spine, pulling your core and still thinking about that golden thread pulling you up towards the ceiling. I want you to imagine that you've got a broomstick across your tummy and we're going into a spine stretch now. So lifting your arms up to shoulder height. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you're breathing out, you're reaching up over the broomstick and over towards your feet, keeping those knees nice and straight. Again, up over the broomstick and towards your feet. Really think about keeping those knees straight. And once more, up over the broomstick and over towards your feet. And again, coming up into that nice tall sitting position. We're just going to shake off those legs, just shaking out your hips and your ankles. Okay, so then we're going to turn ourselves onto our front, ready for our next move today, which is called the swimming. So you're laying on your tummy with your legs stretched back behind you, hip width apart, and your arms out in front of you, shoulder width apart. So just resting your forehead down on the floor to start with, and you're thinking about your neutral spine. So on your front, you should have your weight evenly spread across both hip bones, and you're pulling in those core muscles. So we're going to start off working your arms. So as you're breathing out, lifting your right arm away from the floor and breathing in as you lower. Breathing out as you lift your left arm and breathing in as you lower. At the moment, keeping your forehead on the floor. I know that I've got my head off the floor, but I don't think you'll be able to hear me if I'm talking into my kitchen floor. But for the moment, keep that forehead down and just focus into your lower part of your back. So you're breathing out as you lift your right arm. Breathe in as you lower, breathe out as you lift your left arm. Breathe in as you lower and alternating those arms. Thinking about that lower back, I want you to imagine you've got a tennis ball sitting in the lower part of your back. And you're trying to balance your tennis ball. You don't want it to roll off. So you're keeping your back as steady as you can. Squeeze in those core muscles. That will really help you with your balance. And focus into the breathing. Keep your movement nice and slow and nice and controlled. And we're doing one more on either side. And then lowering down. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with just your legs now. So as you're breathing out, lifting your right leg away from the floor and breathing in as you lower. Breathing out as you lift and breathing in as you lower. Keep your legs nice and straight. And it's called the swimming because I want you to imagine you're like doing a swimming movement, but obviously very slowly. So again, keeping that core pulled in and focusing into your lower back. Think about your tennis ball. You're keeping your ball balanced in the small of your back. Now, if you want to increase the challenge, you can begin to add in your opposite arm to your opposite leg. Again, for the moment, keep your forehead down on the floor and squeezing in those core muscles. Really think about centering your body. Make sure you're not moving around on those hip bones and keeping your ball nice and steady in the small of your back. And for those of you who do want to add to the challenge now, you can begin to lift your head and neck away from the floor, as if we were doing our swan dive movement. But if you have got your head and neck lifted away from the floor, you need to make sure you're really squeezing in that core and you're holding that neutral spine. If you find you're rocking around on your hips, and it's a sign it's a little bit too much for you at the moment, to just lower your head back down towards the floor. And if you make the next one your last one, or make sure you've done an even amount on either side. Then bending those knees and bringing your heels up towards your bottom, reaching behind for them and having a good stretch. And then pushing up onto all fours and sitting back on your heels and reaching forward with your arms and resting your forehead down on the floor. And then we're coming back onto our front, ready for our next move, which is going to be the leg pull prone. Or for those of you who've done yoga before, like the plank. So again, in this position, you've got your legs hip width apart with your feet flat on the floor. And this time you're up on your elbows, imagining you're watching television like you used to when you were a youngster. I want you to think about the position of your arms. It's very important for this movement. So you're going to have your shoulders and elbows in line. And just giving yourself a moment, pulling in that core. Okay, so we're going to start off with a half leg pull. So as you're breathing out, you're lifting your hips and your waist away from the floor and you're holding it there. Make sure that your shoulders and elbows are still in line. And you've got the core pulled in. Just staying in this position for now, think about those shoulders and focus into your breathing. You should feel even in this position that you're having a really good stretch of those tummy muscles, but think about your back. If you do feel like you're having pressure in your lower back, then you can lift your bottom slightly. Or if you feel that it's a little bit too much for your back, you can always lower yourself down as you're breathing out. And lowering down. Okay, so now we're going to go into our full leg pull prone if you want the challenge. So as you're breathing out, you're bringing your hips and waist away from the floor, the way we've just done in our half leg pull. Then tucking your toes under, lifting your knees away from the floor and lowering your bottom down. Again, keep that core pulled in and focus into your breathing. We're really working those tummy muscles at the moment, so think about your tummy, keep your core pulled in. And if it does feel too much, you can always bend your knees and lower down. And as you're breathing out, bending those knees and lowering down. Coming off those elbows for a moment, give yourself a breather. And then when you're ready, coming back up. Again, checking those elbows and shoulders are in line, filling in that core. And as you're breathing out, coming up into your half leg pull. And again, if you do want to challenge yourself, coming into that full leg pull. Don't forget to breathe. And as you're breathing out, lowering down. And then when you're ready, pushing up onto all fours. And again, sitting back on your heels and reaching forward with your arms, resting your forehead down on the floor. Sit back on those heels as much as you can and get your tummy and your chest as close to the floor as you can to stretch out your back. And then when you're ready, if you turn yourselves onto your side, ready for your side kicks. So stretching your arm back behind you and your legs out in front of you. By glancing down at the tips of your toes so you know you're in a nice straight line, or using the edge of your mat to help you line up. Gently rest your ear on your outstretched arm, and you've got your stabilising arm with your palm on the floor just to help you with your balance. Closing your eyes now, focusing into your breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. I want you to imagine you're being pulled from either end, so you're going in both directions, really lengthening through your spine. And on your next out breath, lifting your top leg away from your bottom leg, no higher than your hip. And if you do want to increase the challenge, you can bring your bottom leg up to meet your top leg. Just thinking about those hips at the moment, some people might feel they're having a lot of pressure through their hip. If you are, then you can lower your bottom leg down. And if you've got your bottom leg on the floor and you still feel you're having pressure in your hip, then you can always bend that bottom knee and that will take the pressure away from your hip. So shoulders nice and relaxed, core pulled in, and really focusing into your balance. As you're breathing out, moving your stabilising arm, placing it down the side of your body. And on your next out breath, bringing your arm over your head into a stretch. And hold it there. Placing your arm back down on the floor. And lowering your legs down one at a time. As you're breathing out, lifting your top leg away from your bottom leg, holding it there. And as you're breathing out, sweeping your top leg forward and breathing in as you come back. Breathing out as you sweep forward and breathing in as you come back. Again, focus into your balance, squeeze in that core. And once more. And as you're breathing out, lifting your top leg up towards the ceiling and breathing in as you lower. Out as you lift and in as you lower. Again, think about your shoulders, keep them nice and relaxed, and just squeezing in your core muscles. That will really help you with your balance. Two more. And the last one. And lowering down. Then lifting your top leg and your bottom leg away from the floor. You're going into your scissoring movements with your feet. So imagining your legs are like a giant pair of scissors. You're just allowing your feet to pass each other in the air, keeping those legs nice and straight. Again, squeezing that core to help you with your balance. And keep those shoulders nice and relaxed. If you do want to challenge your balance as you're breathing out, you move your stabilising arm and place it down the side of your body. Remember, the slower you go with this, the more benefit you're getting for your core, and also it's much easier to balance if you're going slowly. Making the next one your last one, and as you're breathing out, lowering down. Bringing your arm over your head, grabbing your hands and stretching out on your side. Placing your arm back down on the floor and then bending your top leg and placing your foot or your knee on the floor in front of you. Keeping your bottom leg as straight as you can, take a nice deep breath in. And as you're breathing out, lifting your bottom leg away from the floor and breathing in as you lower. Breathing out as you lift and breathing in as you lower. You should be feeling a good stretch in your moving inner thigh and also in the outer thigh of your still leg. And once more. Placing your top leg back on top of your bottom leg and pointing and stretching those toes. And then lifting your top leg away from your bottom leg, draw some circles with your foot and your ankle to release any tension. Back the other way. And lowering down. And again, once more, bring that arm over your head, grab your hands, stretch out on your side. And then when you're ready, if you turn over, ready for your side kick on the other side. So again, stretching that arm back behind you and your legs out in front of you and glancing down at the tips of your toes. Relax those shoulders and again focusing into your breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. I want you to imagine that you're being pulled from either end, you're going in both directions, really lengthening through your spine. And on your next out breath, lifting your top leg away from your bottom leg, no higher than your hip, and holding it there. And remembering if you need to, you can always bend that bottom leg to take any pressure away from your hip. Relax those shoulders. Pull in your core. And if you do want to increase the challenge as you're breathing out, you can bring your bottom leg up to meet your top leg and hold it there. As you're breathing out, moving your stabilising arm, placing it down the side of your body. And on your next out breath, bringing your arm over your head into a stretch. Placing your arm back down on the floor and lowering your legs down one at a time. As you're breathing out, lifting your top leg away from your bottom leg. And on your next out breath, sweeping your top leg forward and breathing in as you come back. Breathing out as you sweep forward and breathing in as you come back.
Reposition it.
Really focus into that balance, squeezing in your core. And as you're breathing out, lift your top leg up towards the ceiling and breathing in as you lower. Out as you lift and in as you lower. Two more. And one more. And lowering down. Then lift your top leg and your bottom leg away from the floor. And again, we're going into our sizzling movements with your feet. So keeping those legs as straight as you can. We're just allowing your feet to pass each other in the air. Imagining your legs are like a giant pair of scissors. Keep the movement nice and slow and nice and controlled. And remember, the slower you do this, the easier it is for your balance. If you do want to challenge your balance as you're breathing out, move your stabilising arm, place it down the side of your body, continuing with that movement. Obviously, if you do feel like you're going to fall over, then just place your arm back down on the floor. And one more. Placing your arm back down on the floor and lowering your legs down one at a time. Bringing your arm over your head, grabbing your hand, stretching out on your side. And then placing your arm back down on the floor and bending your top leg and placing either your foot or your knee on the floor in front of you. Keep your bottom leg as straight as you can. And as you're breathing out, lifting your bottom leg away from the floor and breathing in as you lower. Breathe out as you lift and breathe in as you lower. Again, this is our inner thigh stretch. You should be feeling a stretch in the inner thigh of your moving leg and in the outer thigh of your resting leg. And once more. Placing your top leg back on top of your bottom leg, pointing and stretching those toes. And then lifting your top leg away from your bottom leg, you're just drawing some little circles with your foot and your ankle to release any tension. Back the other way. And lowering down. Then when you're ready, coming up into a sitting position. Okay, so this is going to be our final move today. This is our rolling back. So you need to make sure that you've got enough room behind you to be able to roll backwards and forwards. So you're going to be sitting up nice and tall with your knees bent at 90 degrees and you've got your feet flat on your floor, hip width apart. And for this movement, we're having our feet together. Place your hands on your knees so you keep your shoulders nice and relaxed. Think about that core. You'll need your core pulled in to give you the momentum to roll backwards and forwards in a moment. So in a minute, we're going to be going into our rolling back. And when you're rolling back, you'll need to curve your spine. So you're going to be like a little ball rolling backwards and forwards. So we're going to be starting off with our feet on the floor, rolling back, and then coming back up into our sitting position. So you're breathing out, rolling back, and coming back up into sitting. And you're just going to be like a little ball rolling backwards and forwards. And this movement here is for the mobility of our spine. It's really good to keep your back nice and supple. And it does feel like a little massage if you're pushing that spine into the floor as you're rolling backwards and forwards. If you do find that when you go back you're getting stuck, don't worry. Put your feet down and push yourself up with your hands. And I want you to think about keeping the movement nice and controlled. Try to avoid flicking those legs. And once more. Okay, so for those of you that are finding that you're able to go backwards and forwards nicely without too much trouble, we can begin to add in challenges. So the first challenge is starting in a balance. So you start your movement and end your movement in a balance. Obviously, if your feet do go down in between, don't worry, but you're aiming to start in the balance, roll, come back up in control, and finish in the balance. You really need your core pulled in to be able to do this. And try and keep those shoulders down if you can. And once more. And coming up into sitting. Okay, so if you're doing the movement and you're finding that you're able to do your balance and you want to challenge yourself even further, we can change the positioning of our arms and our legs. So I want you to push your elbows in towards your knees and wrap your hands around so that your hands are resting on your ankle. You're staying in a balanced position, so you've got your feet away from the floor. And again, you're going to be rolling yourself backwards and forwards. But because we're in a different position, you'll find it will really challenge your core. So again, starting and finishing in the balance. So you're breathing out, rolling back, coming back up into that sitting position. Really think about your core. Use it to control your movement so you don't over-rotate. Put your feet back on the floor. And two more. And the last one. And again, coming up into that nice tall sitting position and lowering your legs down. Okay, stretch those legs out in front of you. Keep your legs nice and straight and reach down for those toes. Again, just stretching out your hamstrings. And again, give those legs a little shake. Just ease out those hip flexors. And then when you're ready, if you lay yourself down on your back, on the floor, finding a comfortable position, ready for your relaxation. So just closing your eyes now and focusing into your breathing, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Focusing down into one particular part of you. You feel you've worked really hard today. Maybe you feel it's your hips, maybe you feel it's your back or your stomach. Just focus down into that one particular part of you and really let it relax. As you're breathing out any stress or any tension you've been feeling. Either from your class today, or from your day, or your week in general, just letting it all go as you're breathing out. And imagining now you've got some relaxation, like light or like water, spreading down through your body, helping you to relax. So you can feel your relaxation spreading down through your head and down through your neck. Across your shoulders and down into your back. Feeling your relaxation spreading down through your upper arms and into your elbows. Down through your lower arms and into your wrists. And feeling your relaxation flowing into your hands and then out through your fingers. So you can feel your relaxation spreading down through your chest and down through your rib cage. Down through your stomach and then around into your lower back. Feeling your relaxation spreading down through your hips and through your pelvis. Down through your bottom and into your thighs. And feeling your relaxation spreading into your knees. Feeling your relaxation spreading down through your shins and through your calves. Down through your ankles and into your feet. Finally, feeling your relaxation flowing out through your toes. So you're feeling completely relaxed now from your head to your toes. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just enjoying your feeling of being relaxed. And when you're ready, slowly opening your eyes. Having one last really good stretch. Take some nice deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And in your own time, gently sitting up. And that's our class finished today. Thanks everyone and well done. Hope to see you next week.